This just in. The big man, Justin Bour, is hot. He smacked 3 hits last night in a Marlin win. And this, Justin Nicolino's been sharp. A 2.5 ERA in his last 3 starts. Both on display tonight in Atlanta. Marlins and Braves. And in Atlanta tonight, the Marlins and the Braves continue what is a 3-game series. The Fish, winners last night. Turner Field, home of the Braves for just one more season before the Braves move into their new ballpark. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to our booth. And tonight we will share our booth with Fox Sports South's Chip Caray and Joe Simpson. 4th and 5th inning, the 2 Braves broadcasters and you and I will all talk together about both these ball clubs, about Major League Baseball. Should be a lot of fun.
Well, it should be. We'll get an opportunity to maybe let Braves fans a little bit in on Marlins life, and they'll let us know a little bit about what's going on with the Braves.
Yeah, be interested to get their opinion on a lot of things. They may have an opinion on Justin Bour, and that opinion probably is pretty high after last night. He's had a really nice road trip and a big night last night.
You know, he's hit a couple of home runs on the road trip, but what I liked last night, Justin Bour was able to put together a 3-hit night. Started with a single, got himself another single. This team, the Braves, do not shift him the way we saw the Pirates shift him, and then a big double. So a good night for Justin Bour. He's gotten that average near 260. He's been productive. He's been driving in runs. Justin Bour in the last 3 games. Look at the average, 417. And 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position on the year. The big guy has 14 home runs.
Marlins got a good start last night. Chris Narveson did get a blister, help from the bullpen. They hope that Justin Nicolino gives them a good start and gets deeper into the ball game tonight.
Rich, I think you and I, when we've seen Justin Nicolino, the 23-year-old, we've seen him progress and get a little bit better. He's getting confidence on the mound. He keeps the ball down well. He works hitters. He pitches to contact. He's not a strikeout guy. Our first look at Manny Banuelos, a left-hander for the Atlanta Braves tonight. They're in need of starting pitchers. He pitched out of the bullpen a few nights ago in AAA, so he'll probably go 3 or 4 innings tonight.
So we open our booth up to Joe Simpson and Chip Caray. And to you, it's emails and tweets. So if you got a question about the Braves, get it in early and we'll get it on the air. Justin Nicolino on his start. He'll visit with Jessica Blaylock when we get back to Atlanta. emergency start for the Braves. Jessica Blaylock is down below. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Rich. Justin Nicolino on the mound tonight for the Marlins. I had a chance to talk to him about tonight's start, and one of the things that we discussed is what can make his pitches successful.
It's more about just commanding and you know, commanding my pitches and getting guys early contact. I mean, that's how it's been for the last 2 years. I think as I've gotten older, learned how to pitch a little bit more, and you know, it's kept me in ball games a lot longer by getting that early contact. And like you said, I'm not going to overpower anyone, so it's just about going out there and pitching my game plan.
What are some of those lessons that you've learned since being on the mound? I mean, it's a continual learning process for you out there.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just every start you got to learn something from it. You know, and minimizing those mistakes that you have, and you know, letting the defense work. That's been something that's been big for me since I've been up here. Is, you know, in certain situations, defense have been picking me up, and you know, it's executing those pitches at those times.
Where do you feel like you have made the most improvement since your first start?
Just understanding the game a lot more. You know, slowing it down when I need to. You know, for instance, last start, you know, I think it was bases loaded, 2 outs, and Cervelli's first at bat hit a triple off me off the wall. You know, right there you got to bear down and make a good pitch, and you know, I was fortunate enough to do that. So it's just about, you know, executing and slowing the game down.
It's Justin Nicolino on the mound. It's a Twitter and email Tuesday here at Turner Field, and it is also open mic night. When we do return, it is Game 2 of a 3-game series here in Atlanta versus the Braves. The Marlins got the 4-0 shutout last night and are looking to make it 2 straight tonight. First pitch is straight ahead.
It was in Washington, D.C. as well. Night game tonight, day game tomorrow. Manny Banuelos, the lefty on the mound. D. Gordon in the box. And this ball game is underway. Pinchapetti brings you that first pitch. Banuelos, the 24-year-old young guy who came up in the Yankees organization, has battled through injuries. Gordon sprays a ground ball. That's Daniel Castro out at short tonight. He makes the play. D now 0 for 6 in this series. Braves have kept Gordon off the bases, but it didn't matter last night. Marlins got the win. J.M. Lexus with the lineup. Christian Yelich is in the 2 spot. Martin Prado hits 3rd. How about Justin Bour? Really nice road trip. Marcell Ozuna back in center. Cole Gillespie, a big homer last night. JT Realmuto behind the plate. Adeiny Echeverria in the 8th spot. And Justin Nicolino hits 9th. And here is Yelich, and it's sure nice to see him back in the starting lineup.
Well, it is. It's nice to see him back in the starting lineup, and it's nice to see him up in that number 2 spot, too, in the order.
Yelich, last couple of ball games, has made a pinch hitting appearance in both, and he has 2 hits. Smacks that one to center field. It doesn't look, Tommy Hutton, like the layoff has really hurt Christian Yelich's swing.
Christian Yelich has not missed a beat. He's 3 for his last 4. And all of a sudden that swing is just the way he left it. There's the left-hander, 24 years old, out of Mexico, Manny Banuelos. He's, as Rich mentioned, signed by the Yankees in 08. Actually acquired by the Braves for a couple of pretty good prospects, David Carpenter and Jason Shreve.
Had a little bit of a scare this year. Tommy John surgery 2 years ago and elbow issues. They put him on the disabled list, and it turned out it was some bone chips in the elbow. Nothing to do with the surgery. And a strike. Ben May calling balls and strikes. Rob Drake at first. Joe West, ladies and gentlemen, at second. And DJ Rayburn is at third base.
I guess the Braves, certainly always a concern. They've had Chris Medlin, Brandon Beachy, a couple of guys who've had Tommy John twice.
Peter Moylan, whom we saw last night. But Banuelos, they hope, can become a nice piece in their rotation. He's out of Durango, Mexico. Not real big, 5'10", 160. Facing Martin Prado, and Prado has had a good road trip. A nice night last night, 2 for 4 with an RBI double. Marlins last night made a winner of Chris Narveson and a loser of Shelby Miller. And of course, Shelby Miller's been the hard luck guy with the lowest run support in baseball, and last night the Braves got him 0 runs. He went 7 innings and gave up only 1. 1-1, a ground ball into left field by a diving Hector Olivera. We will introduce Olivera and the rest of the Braves defense right now, and they're brought to you by BMW.
All right, here it is. The rest of that Atlanta Braves defense. Nick Swisher's in left, Cameron Maben, and Markakis, the right fielder. Hector Olivera called up today, making his Major League debut out of Cuba. Daniel Castro, the shortstop. Jace Peterson in second. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman. The veteran, A.J. Pierzynski, behind the plate.
There's a first look at Olivera. The Dodgers spent a lot of money on him as a free agent. A corner infielder, can play outfield as well. And he makes his Major League debut here. He was involved in that 3-way trade, the Braves, the Marlins, and the Dodgers. That one bounces off of Pierzynski, and both runners move up. Yelich to third and Prado to second.
Great instincts on the part of Christian Yelich, and then Prado just followed him. As soon as this ball hits right there and bounces in the air, that's when Yelich takes off. If you hesitate a little longer, by the time Pierzynski gets the ball, you might not make it. So good instincts, and Prado had to watch Yelich.
And now Bohr with a chance to give Miami an early lead. Pitch misses away. There are 2 guys in this ballpark that potentially could have a rough ride tonight. One is A.J. Pierzynski, and the other is Freddie Gonzalez, because Manny Banuelos is only slated to go maybe 4 innings at the most. He has not really been stretched out.
Yeah, last Thursday in the minor leagues, he pitched a couple of innings for Gwinnett through 30 pitches. That's it.
But of course, the Braves had that series in which they were swept by the Yankees this weekend and outscored 38-11, and had to go to their bullpen early, often, so much so that Johnny Gomes, the dearly departed Johnny Gomes, who is now in Kansas City, had to pitch on Friday. So their pen is razor thin. And Bohr walks on 4 pitches, and that brings Ozuna up to face the lefty with the bags loaded.
And Ozuna hitting .319 against lefties. Freddie Gonzalez, because of all those things you mentioned, Rich, has not announced who's pitching tomorrow because he doesn't know who all he has to use tonight.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go day by day. It's inning by inning tonight for the Braves. Tommy touched on his numbers against lefties. Here's what he is with the bags loaded. 2 career grand slams, and a 351 average. Now the Braves are looking for a ground ball. And a fastball misses in from Banuelos. Good changeup to go with that fastball. Bags filled with fish. Yelich, Prado, and Bohr. Ozuna lines at center field, bounces in front of Maben. Yelich will score. Prado stops there, and Bohr just gets under the throw as Castro cut across the bag. That was a close one at second base. Marlins have a 1-0 lead. A little daring do by Bohr, and the bags are still loaded.
Looks like the ball's hit a little bit off the end of the bat, and we all know what a good center fielder Maben is. Justin Bohr knows that, so he had to really be careful and make sure that ball dropped. It did, and everybody able to advance 90 feet.
Now Cole Gillespie, who homered against Shelby Miller last night. Runs against Shelby Miller are tough to get this year. He's got one of the better ERAs in the National League, and homers equally tough. Miller has given up only 10 all year in 27 starts, but Gillespie has one of the 10, and he knocked it deep into the seats and left to give Miami a 1-0 start last night. Check swing, little tapper towards second. Peterson backhands, gets the out. Marlins get a run. Prado comes across, and Gillespie gets an RBI. An excuse me swing was better than a garden variety ground ball.
Yeah, it's almost the excuse me swing worked out. Had he hit that ball sharply, it would have been a 4-6-3 double play. There's a little check. And the other good thing on that is that Ozuna was able to get by the second baseman, Jace Peterson, so he wouldn't get tagged.
So 2 early runs, a chance for more with Real Muto, who was 2 for 4 last night. Gillespie and Bohr on the corners. And Banuelos misses in.
Good swings last night from JT Real Muto, who has also hit left-handers. Hit lefties about 70 points higher than righties this year.
Two and 0.
I think even though the Marlins have the lefty Nicolino starting, it's one of the reasons Freddie Gonzalez has Pierzynski back there, even though he's a left-handed hitter, to try to work with this young pitcher.
2 and 1.
Interesting 2-0 changeup.
That may be his best pitch. He's not been in a position to really use it so far this inning. And Tommy John surgery wiped out almost 2 seasons for him, 2012, 2013. Runner goes, and Real Muto hits it in the air to center. Maben is in and there and makes the catch. But Miami off to a good start for Justin Nicolino. It's 2-0 Fish. By Toyota, let's go places. By Vico Painting Contractors, for top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. Visit vicopainting.com. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit us online at AutoNation.com. In the ATL, Atlanta, 2-0, Miami on top. Braves lineup looks this way. Brought to you by JM Lexus. Nick Markakis having a nice year in the leadoff spot. Cameron Maben's back in at center. Freddie Freeman at first. Nick Swisher in left. AJ Pierzynski's had a nice year, especially against the Marlins. Hector Olivera, the Cuban slugger, in his major league debut. Jace Peterson at second. Daniel Castro is at short. And the pitcher, Manny Banuelos, will hit ninth. Nicolino's first pitch. Markakis turns it right around and sends it into center field.
Justin Nicolino getting ready to work after that leadoff single, making his 7th start. Last time out, he got the loss to the Pirates, but he pitched really well. 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, just 2 runs. He'd like to keep the walks down. He walked 4 in that game. He'd like to keep that a little lower.
So here is Maben. Remember, Cameron Maben acquired almost the day before the season started. To right, lots of room out there. And Gillespie finds the track and the ball. Miami's defense lines up this way.
Been a while since we've been able to tell you that Christian Yelich is in left field. The defense, as always, brought to you by BMW. Ozuna and Gillespie. Martin Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon, and Justin Bohr. And Real Muto behind the plate. You can see the Braves' game plan against the young left-hander is early attack. 2 first pitch swings.
2 pitches, 1 out. And a pitch that misses out to Freddie Freeman. Braves have their leader back with all the departures. Hayward, the Uptons. Freeman, kind of the senior member of guys that have been in this core over the last 4, 5, 6 years. He's still at first. He's still in the 3 spot. Of course, the Braves sprinkled some veterans around to try to help in this transition year. One of those was traded last night during the game. Johnny Gomes sent to the Royals. 1 hop, and by Gordon, it's in the right. Gillespie picks it up. Markakis not stopping. And he arrives at third base, and the Braves are in business.
Boy, a matter of inches, and that ball's a double play. But Freddie Freeman hit it sharply and just gets by D. Gordon. Not too many have gotten by D. Gordon this year.
Nick Swisher now. When the Marlins were here last, and that was end of July, early August, as we are into September now, Braves made that trade that brought Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne from the Indians and sent Chris Johnson to Cleveland.
Well, Swisher at the time was just coming off the disabled list for the Indians, coming off a double knee surgery.
Columbus, Ohio native, 34-year-old. No doubt enjoyed his college football season last year. He is an Ohio State Buckeye. And a member of the Yankees World Championship team in 2009. Nicolino misses out. He hurt the Marlins in that series. Swisher had a big 2-run double. Remember the tomahawk chop when he slid into second? That was late in a ball game in which the Braves won.
He's had a couple of nice games. He had a 2-homer game at Wrigley Field for the Braves.
The Nicolino tries changeup. Now it's 3-1. Miami got 2 right away, and the Braves are threatening here. There's a bouncer to Echeverria, right to the bag. Gordon's turn, and Justin Nicolino gets out of the inning. Miami's got a 2-0 lead. Sixth annual Star Wars night is coming up on Friday night on the 4th. It's Marlins and Mets. It's a great cause as well for charity. Pediatric Cancer Awareness is the beneficiary that night. It's presented by State Farm. Get a game ticket, R2-D2 t-shirt, post-game fireworks show. It's presented by Rico. It's all for just $25. To get those Star Wars tickets, marlins.com/special events. Into the second. Danny Echeverria and Manny Banuelos misses out. Justin Nicolino and D. Gordon coming up as well.
Well, what a nice job by Nicolino to make a good pitch and get Swisher to roll into that 6-4-3 double play.
Hey, Tommy, not only tonight do we have Chip Caray and Joe Simpson joining us for a couple of innings, but we have emails and tweets. Open mic night tonight. Send us your emails at foxmarlins@gmail.com and at Fox Marlins on Twitter and Instagram. Right center, Cameron Maben is there. Makes the catch. You want to throw out the first tweet?
Well, I just was going to throw out this. Not really a question, but I've gotten a few tweets asking if they can ask Chip Caray or Joe Simpson a question or two. And yes, you may. So keep the emails and tweets coming.
All right, I've got a much more detailed email from Dan. Dan from Marco Island. And it's a rules question. There's a fastball for a strike. Now, when we do this, Chip and Joe, as you see them right now, will join us in the 4th and in the 5th inning. And all 4 of us will talk. Not at the same time, but we'll all be on at the same time.
Well, we hope we don't all talk at the same time.
Yes, it'll be verbal sparring, like a tag team match. Tommy will come over the ropes. And, no, it should be fun. We can talk Braves, Marlins. We'll talk about Major League Baseball and emails and tweets. Nicolino takes out. All right, here's the email from Dan. It's a rules question. Friday night, Nats-Marlins game. Nats runners first and third. Ball was hit back to Adam Conley. It deflected towards the hole in first and second, and it nearly hit the runner. So the question is, knowing that the base runner at that point is in fair territory, What's the rule if a base runner gets struck by the ball after it's been deflected by a defensive player? It's from Dan in Marco Island. Hey, look at that.
Hey, get the baseball. First one for Justin Nicolino.
Nicolino, the pride of University High School in Orlando, has a major league hit.
Well, you see, Adam Conley was getting on him a little bit. Conley has a couple of big league hits. And Justin Nicolino catching up to him with a nice swing against the left-handed pitcher.
It's been a good road trip for Marlin pitchers, hasn't it?
Yeah, Tom Kohler had a 2-hit game in Washington. So nicely done, and congrats to Nicolino.
Brad Hand had a hit on Sunday. Anyways, once the ball's touched by a defender, it's a live ball, and it's no longer an out if it hits a runner at that point.
Different than if the ball struck right off the bat and hits the runner.
Yes. So once the defender has a chance to touch it, all bets are off. Good question. Gordon, little tapper, Oliveira out there, and that's it. Nicolino retired. There are 2 outs, and we may find out what kind of move Manny Banuelos has here with Gordon at first and 2 down.
Yeah, D. Gordon trying to get his hits in order. Hitless last night. They're the stolen base leaders. Billy Hamilton, I believe, still on the disabled list. A lot of times that's what you want to do if you don't know a pitcher very well. You want to get a real big one-way lead, knowing that your first move is going to go back to first because you want him to go over. You want to see his move. And you hope he shows you his A move.
Robert has a tweet. Are the Marlins going to call anyone up for September?
Wouldn't be surprised. We don't know. We haven't been given any names. I wouldn't be surprised to see, because it just helps the maneuverability, to see Tomas Telis. Gives you a third catcher.
A lot of the arms that were down in the minor leagues, whether it was in New Orleans or in Jacksonville, are here right now. But I would expect there'll be 2 or 3 more added. Marlins are not in the situation the Braves are in right now, in desperate need of arms. Tonight, Banuelos is already 32 pitches in, and you got to think his max is probably 65, 70.
Yeah, that would be tops.
And the Braves did call up some arms and a couple position players as well. Banuelos came off the disabled list. Dan Barawa and Brandon Caniff in the bullpen. And then Daniel Castro and Hector Oliveira were called up from AAA Gwinnett. Castro's getting the start at short, and Oliveira, of course, is at third. They lost a player last night when they traded Gomes to the Royals. Gordon's running, got a pretty good jump, and he's in there. Boy, a violent slide. He ripped right across the bag and had to put the right hand out to grab the bag to hold on. Let's hope he's all right.
Boy, good jump. Banuelos tried to go quickly to the plate, to throw a little to the shortstop side. But there was always a part of his body on the bag. There's the foot, now the knee, the leg, comes back with the hand.
See if Yelich gets something on a 3-0 pitch. It's a strike. Yelich on a hop. That's a nice play by Chase Peterson. And he gets the out. Marlins leave a runner. Bottom of the second in Atlanta, 2-0.
Back in the starting lineup tonight for Miami. Here is Dan Jennings on Yelich's return to full game action.
To his credit, he's playing through, not 100%, and I think that speaks volumes about his makeup and the fact that he wants to get out and help this team. And we know that he's not at full strength, but he's able to swing the bat, he's able to run, and he's playing through a little discomfort. And I think that's a sign of a guy who's puts team first.
And Rich, Tommy, you mentioned this earlier, a couple of hits for Yelich in the past few nights. In limited action, he is already 1 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, Jess, by the way, if we get in trouble, like if Chip and Joe gang up on us, will you come help?
I definitely will. You just let me know if you need me up there.
All right, you may have to go toe-to-toe with Jen Hildreth, though.
Hey, I think, you know what? I think I can hold my own. I'll do my best.
All right, 2-0 Marlins on top. Chip Carey, Joe Simpson, we will all join forces in the fourth. Great play. Echeverria to first. Man, that thing looked like it was by him and into center field for a hit.
And the other thing about that, I don't think Justin Nicolino touched it, but he could have deflected it, so you have to be prepared for that, too, if you're Echeverria. There's the hop. There's the pick actually behind him, and then makes a perfect throw as usual. Look how he picks the ball well behind him. Putting on a show at Danny Echeverria.
Hector Olivera, the 30-year-old Cuban now, his first major league at bat. And Olivera takes a strike. The Dodgers signed him to a 6-year, $62 million contract in March of this year. And he fouls it back and out of play. Then, when the Marlins, the Braves, and the Dodgers had that large trade near the trading deadline, Olivera was a piece that went from Los Angeles here to Atlanta. And the Dodgers actually ate about $30 million of the $62 million.
Highly, highly unusual to invest that kind of money in someone that you really never gave much of an opportunity to.
Yes, but the Dodgers are actually paying $85.5 million to players who are not playing for them this year. End of the bats. And Nicolino has it, wheels, and gets the out at first. And so Olivera bounces out in his first AB.
good pitch to a guy making his debut who's a little amped up maybe, and Nicolino threw him a good changeup, and you saw how out front he was.
Now Nicolino off the mound made a nice play. Kyle has an email that says, when there's a pop-up right to the pitcher, why can't he just catch the ball? It seems like other infielders converge and bad things tend to happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of times if that pop fly isn't very high, you'll see the pitcher make the play because there isn't enough time. If it's, as they say, a big league pop-up, third baseman usually comes in, makes a play. There are some pitchers, though, that still want to make that play. And there are some pitchers you don't want to have make that play.
A true test, that little looper is going to land foul. A true test as to which pitchers really want to make the play or not. If you see a pop-up that's between the catcher and the pitcher and it's in foul territory, if you see the pitcher race towards foul territory trying to make that play, or at least be in that play, that's a guy that wants to make the play. Nicolino did it the other day on a ball at Marlins Park that was just foul on the first base side. He was there. In fact, he got there well before.
Dontrell Willis used to do that all the time.
3-2. Jace Peterson takes it. Justin Nicolino strikes him out. Fox Tracks renders a strike. Plenty of the plate and at the letters. Two 2-0 Marlins on top. Chuck Hernandez, Justin Nicolino chatting in the dugout. And now we dance. MLB Whip Around. Fox Sports 1 highlights, instant analysis, live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around airs weeknights, 7 Eastern. Fox Sports 1. It streams live on Fox Sports Go. Martin Prado, Manny Banuelos. Prado a base hit in the first. Miami got both runs in the first. Couple hits, a walk loaded the bags. Marcelo Ozuna RBI single. Cole Gillespie drove in a run with a fielder's choice. Back into the emails tonight. Graciela from Miami. It would be nice to mention that two ex-Marlins are having good seasons with Los Tigres de Quintana Roo in Mexico. They are Jorge Cantu and Alfredo Amezaga.
Two of our favorites. Buena suerte to both of them.
Jorge Cantu is actually a good follow on Twitter. If you follow Jorge on Twitter, you get lots of photos from the Mexican League.
Maybe get some Amezica photos.
There were some great photos from his time. I believe it was the All-Star game and the home run hitting contest. That went into right. Markakis with Maben. Maben showing off that range. There's an out. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. And I do believe the Braves have to sign off on it, too.
They did. We got the signatures of Chip Carey and Joe Simpson before the game.
I think you need to go to John Scherholtz or John Hart for that. I think Joe and Chip were just stringing you along.
Well, John and John Scherholtz
and John Hart,
they usually walk by our booth. We'll call them in.
Bohr rolls over on one, and it trickles foul. Justin Bohr walked in the first.
He's had a nice 3 games, 5 hits in the last 3 games, a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs.
One and two to Bohr. Slugging percentage at .449. That continues to go up with the home runs 14, the doubles 15. And that is going to end in the glove of Jace Peterson. Data strong fan photo. Tommy, you know it, you love it. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Kids, borrow mom and dad's cell phone, take the photo, hashtag it FL Data Strong Fan.
How about a tweet? At Max1214 wants to know who would be your top 3 Marlins second baseman in history.
Oh, that's easy. Right?
Well, we're going to start with D. Gordon. We'll go back a little bit to Luis Castillo.
You got to go Uggla. He had the all-time home run record.
And you have Dan Uggla. So those would be your top 3. There would be some who would like to pick a Craig Counsell, but not a lot of games. There could be some Kurt Abbott fans out there, or some Brett Barbary fans.
Who was the second baseman that was supposed to start the year Uggla won the job, who washed out of spring training? Ozuna clobbers one. It's hooking, and it stays fair. Into the corner, it bangs around, and Marcell Ozuna has a ringing double.
Well, we told you his last at bat. He came into the game hitting .319 against lefties, and he's 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI single, and now this double. Just stayed fair, and Ozuna able to make it into second base. I think a little bit too much looking at the ball. I've seen Ozuna do that and come close to missing first base. Pick it up after you round the bag. That's the best way to do it.
David in Weston quickly getting to us. Pokey Reese. There may be a few that had Pokey Reese on that list, but sorry.
But that was the second baseman in camp when Uggla, the Rule 5 player, took charge.
Absolutely. It worked out okay, didn't it? Uggla made a couple All-Star games, hit a lot of homers, got paid a lot of money by the Braves, and is still with the Washington Nationals.
No question, but just a tweet and a hi from Mick, who's in Glasgow, Scotland, watching.
Nice. Gillespie takes it in. Well, we thought that the pitch count for Banuelos would be around 65. He's at 50, and the Braves pen active. And it's just the top of the third inning.
See, now Janine has a question that we'll save for Joe and Chip. Your thoughts about the Braves as they head into 2016?
2-2 pitch to Cole Gillespie. Bouncer up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Ozuna races around third, and he scores.
Boy, there are a lot of areas where Cole Gillespie has just been outstanding. Coming into that at bat, a .400 average with runners in scoring position, and he ups it with that base hit.
We said it last night. He is a guy that has taken full advantage of an opportunity and has shown a lot of people he can play in the major leagues and that he belongs in the major leagues. And that is it. Freddie Gonzalez out to the mound. Manny Banuelos is out in the third. And the Braves have dipped already to their pen. Wes Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Three, 2 outs. And Manny Banuelos' night is over. Saturday, the Fish and the Mets. This should be a fun weekend series. The Saturday Spectacular and the all-you-can-eat seats for just $35. It's a 7:10 start. Marlins and Mets, a weekend series that starts on Friday. Sugar Ray Marimon, whose parents loved boxing. Sugar Ray Leonard. And they gave their son that name. He is actually the cousin of Julio Teheran, who was a starting pitcher, obviously, for the Braves. And that was close. Gillespie just back in.
Yeah, it's going to be this kind of night for the Braves and Freddie Gonzalez. He'll be moving men in and out of that bullpen into the game all evening. Kevin says you forgot about Damian Easley. We didn't forget about him. We talked about the top 3 second basemen. You got to have a period of time where you've played second base.
Braves are going to challenge. And it comes with 2 outs here in the third.
And I know D. Gordon has not a full year, but you can see the prospects.
He was an all-star.
Yes.
He's battling for a batting title. He could win a Gold Glove. So there you go. This is always an interesting case study in human behavior now during these replay sequences. You kind of look at a guy like Gillespie and you say, does he look guilty? He looks interested. And the umpires watching the view up on the board. Here's a look, our first look.
Watch the glove of Freeman. Does it move? It goes into the dirt. It digs into the dirt before it touches the arm. It's very close. I'm really surprised with 2 out in this situation. He got him. There's a really sharp close-up, slow motion on the giant screen in center field, and it looked like they got him.
Yeah, watch Gillespie's forearm, see if it moves before the fingers get there.
Right there. Yeah, it gets him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's out.
So now Gillespie kind of looks like, yeah, I think they got me. Whoa!
Oh.
Country Joe West with a big surprise there.
That's a surprise. I think Freddie's surprised. I think Cole Gillespie's surprised.
That's the look right there. Gillespie thinks... he saw the replay. You could see it in his face.
Look at Freddie Freeman, too.
You could see it in his face when he watched the replay. He thought he was out. And so the Braves essentially lose their challenge. And you're right, Tommy.
That was an odd time to make the challenge.
Unless it's clear cut with 2 outs and a runner at first. A strike to Real Muto, who flied to center back in the first.
Just think, Marimon could have gotten out of the inning without throwing a pitch.
Email question from Jeff in Port St. Lucie. Can you explain how the trade of Johnny Gomes came about, since it was past the deadline and he was playing, so I don't think he was on waivers? Actually, a lot of players in August were put on waivers and kept on playing. Fastball misses in. And if a player like Gomes was put on waivers and was not claimed by anybody in descending order of record until they got to the Royals were able to claim him and then work out a deal to trade for him.
And sometimes a team will claim a player just to try to block any other team from claiming that player and acquiring it.
And sometimes the team will claim a player, and the team who has that player will say, all right, you can have him, but you're going to have to pay that salary that's attached. Foul tip, and it's held. Pierzynski got it. Down goes Real Muto. Miami gets another run. An Ozuna double. Cole Gillespie, an RBI single. He's driven in 2 tonight. Here in downtown Atlanta, headquarters for Coca-Cola. Bottom of the third, Miami's up 3-0. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, to be joined by Chip Carey and Joe Simpson in a half inning. Toyota Trend. Since beating Miami 7-2 on the 8th, the Braves have won just 3 of their last 20 games. And you can see how ragged their bullpen has been. Starters haven't gone deep. The pen's been used a lot, and they've been outscored a ton. 129-55. Braves have actually lost 13 of 14, if you want to sharpen the point. And the ERA of the Braves in those 14 games, 6.84. Daniel Castro's up right now,
which is so unusual. You think about over the years, the matchups of Marlins and Braves and the pitching that the Braves have had over the years.
Nicolino walks Castro. So a leadoff walk here in the third. And Sugar Ray Morimon gets in at bat. Sugar Ray Morimon is 1 for 3 this year. Tries to bunt. It's a foul ball. And the count is 0-1. Rich and Tommy. No name attached to this email. Do you think the Marlins will keep Derek Dietrich in the outfield for the rest of the year and develop him as an outfielder? Actually, there is. It's Francisco from Coconut Creek.
Well, as we've talked about, it's going to be tougher with Yelich back. And if Giancarlo comes back, it's going to be tougher to get Dietrich in that outfield. But I'm sure he'll see some playing time.
I think all Derek Dietrich has to do is look out on the field right now and see Martin Prado, who is a guy that has made his living in the big leagues at being versatile and being able to play a lot of different places. Pop-up bore kind of tumbles after it and misses, and everybody is safe. Morimon races across the bag at first. Justin Bour sold out and went full Monty at the bunt. It's going to be a hit.
Yeah, this is a tough play. Obviously, if he catches it, he gets the out. But if he catches it in the fly, he might get a double play. And that's what he was thinking about. Unfortunately, the ball kicked away from him, and by kicking away from him, even though Martin Prado was able to get it, Morimon got up the line quickly to get the bunt single. Great effort, though, by Justin Bour. You're not going to ever criticize that.
And suddenly, Justin Nicolino, who's pitching with a 3-0 lead, has got runners first and second. Nick Markakis, who singled on one pitch back in the first. Sees a breaking ball for a strike. We talked about Markakis last night. 4-year, $44 million contract. Not the power hitter that he once was in Baltimore. Had a 20-homer season in 2008. Hit 14 last year, but his on-base percentage has been everything you'd like for a guy who's in that leadoff spot. His on-base percentage, .368. 30 doubles. And a very solid, not spectacular as he once was, a 2-time Gold Glover, but very, very good out in right field. 0-2. Hit him. And he's on his way to first. Now the bags are loaded, and here comes Maven. And Nicolino's night is starting to get a little more interesting than he had hoped.
Well, he's getting a visit from JT Real Muto and also from his pitching coach, Chuck Hernandez. Gives us a chance to ask a question that Mallory has. With the Dodgers being no-hit twice this year, what's the shortest time for a team to be no-hit twice in the season? And I think it's the Dodgers, that 9 or 10 day period.
And the oddity of that, as you noted, Chase Utley getting traded over, and
he's been in both of them.
In what, the span of 9 games?
Yeah.
You can email us, and if you have an email for Chip or Joe, we'll try to work that in our 2 innings. The Braves and Marlins television booths We'll dock much like the Russians and the U.S. in space, Tommy. We will crawl through the small portal in the Braves radio booth and be joined for 2 innings with Chip and Joe. Or something like that. Maben flying to right back in the first. Infield looking for 2. And Nicolino starts with strike 1.
Nicolino was able to get a big double play from Nick Swisher. Maben a little tougher. The Swisher double play in the first inning.
Ball and a strike. Kind of a renaissance year for Cameron Maben.
Yeah, career high in RBIs, 52.
10 homers, 21 stolen bases. Maben rips it, left field line, foul. Asheville, North Carolina native. We noted last night he and Chris Narveson from the same high school in Asheville, T.C. Roberson High School. Like one other major leaguer from that high school, Darren Holmes.
Big right-handed pitcher.
Diving stop. Bohr's got it. Gets to the bag and gets the out.
The big guys all over the place this inning.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, he didn't get the bunt. This was a tougher play, and he just got it in the webbing of his glove.
Playing way off the line. Super extension, and then gets up to get to the bag to double off the runner. Just tremendous by Justin Bohr. Markakis didn't have a chance.
You could hear D. Gordon in the background shouting with glee. Now, to make it pay off, Nicolino trying to get Freddie Freeman. He singled in the first.
Now, we told you it would be a little tougher to double up Maben, which it was. But Justin Bohr got it done. This is a guy who has truly excelled in these situations. If you go back over the last 4 years, Freddie Freeman's a .320 hitter with runners in scoring position.
Just missed. It's 2-1. Remember, tomorrow is breakfast with the fish. Or brunch. Mimosas might be in order. 11:30 start for Marlins Live pregame. It's brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. 12 o'clock start tomorrow here in Atlanta. Check swing, roller, Prado's got it. Nicolino escapes with some help from his big first baseman, Justin Bohr. When we come back, we'll be joined by Chip and Joe. Chip's getting a haircut right now, getting ready for it.
The fourth inning. We're trying something new tonight. It's called Open Mic Night. Joe Simpson and I will be joined by Rich Walls and Tommy Hutton, the great broadcasters for the Marlins, and we'll talk about both of our ball clubs here in Game 2.
3-0 Miami on top. Great play by Justin Bour, and now the grand experiment begins. Hi, gentlemen. How are you?
Welcome to the end of our careers, fellas.
Yes. Chip Carey, Joe Simpson, Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, and all four of us are going to get together for the next couple of innings and talk baseball. We'll talk about the Marlins and the Braves. Justin Bour had 2 shots at it, guy. The first one he didn't quite get, but the second one was a spectacular play.
If he's going to make one play, I think he made the right one.
Yeah, we knew going in, guys, that this was going to be a tough night for Freddie Gonzalez. Manny Banuelos was on a pitch count, and now it's turned over to the bullpen. Sugar Ray Marimon, and who knows who else will work tonight. Fastball misses in.
And really, guys, I think that's been one of the big problems for the Braves in the month of August. The bullpen has been used. It's been abused. It's very young, very inexperienced. And really, guys, there haven't been many great options for Freddie Gonzalez to go when his starters have faltered. And the young starters have not been exactly Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox-like at times for the Braves this month.
You know what it does? It gives you guys and it gives Freddie and the Braves organization the same opportunity that the Marlins have. You're going to see guys that might not be on the ball club next year, but might. And you'll see what they can do in major league situations.
We've been talking about that, Tommy, as these opportunities arise and how great these opportunities are. They don't come along that often, especially in the Atlanta organization, to come along and have a bad day, have a bad outing, and still be able to come back and redeem yourself.
Danny Echeverria up right now, leading off here in the fourth. And Echeverria cracks one in the gap right center. Over for it is Markakis, and he makes the catch. For Miami, some guys that have taken advantage of those opportunities. Derek Dietrich is one. Justin Bour is another. Cole Gillespie, who's knocked in a couple runs tonight, have done that as well. And I'm sure for the Braves, I know we've loved Adonis Garcia and his play at third base. He's a guy that seems to have taken advantage of a chance to play.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, Rich. What a shame it is that he's got a fellow countryman to talk to. And Hector Olivera, unfortunately, they play the same position, so we don't know how that's going to affect Adonis's playing time going forward.
Do you think Olivera is going to get an opportunity to play a lot this last month?
I do. I mean, he's been working himself into shape, Tommy, and tonight he makes his debut, and we'll see going forward again how good a shape he's in and if he can continue to be in the lineup.
Justin Nicolino, the hitter now. Miami, a 3-0 lead. Couple runs in the first against Manny Banuelos. And then a run in the third, which knocks Banuelos out of the ball game. And Nicolino, who got his first major league hit in the second. Count even out 2-2.
You guys, I know Echeverria just made the first out of the inning, but he's also a native of Cuba, and we're big fans of his. And he's one of the many great shortstops in the National League. But we're fortunate to be able to watch him 18 times a year and see what he can do.
We talk about that, Joe, a lot. The fact that when the Marlins and Braves get together, everybody gets a treat because you get to see Echeverria and Andrelton Simmons.
And it seems like both those shortstops raise their game when they're facing each other.
I agree.
Yeah, the Cuban influence in the game right now, obviously at an all-time high. Miami with Echeverria and Jose Fernandez, who they hope to have back in the next couple of weeks. And a swing and a foul tip held by Pierzynski. Marimon strikes out Nicolino, and that'll bring up D. Gordon. The Braves in this series have been able to keep D. Gordon off the bases and keep him under control. Now, the ironic thing is the Marlins scored 4 runs last night and have 3 tonight. That really hasn't happened a whole lot this year. When D. Gordon has been silent, the offense has followed.
Can you guys figure out why the Dodgers didn't want this guy?
We're happy that they didn't. Very pleased. You know what? He was a different player. You talk to people who saw him in L.A., and The Dodgers wanted him to do certain things.
Gordon with a bunt hit there.
The Marlins have said, just do your thing. Don't worry about the on-base percentage. Don't worry about drawing a walk all the time. Don't worry about taking pitches. Just get on base. And he leads the league in hits.
And you know what, Tommy? What a great opportunity for him to have a guy like Brett Butler tutor him a little bit too, and then really help him step his game up, and evidence of that right there with that bunt.
And the other guy that's influenced him greatly is Perry Hill, one of the best infield instructors in the game. Gordon is playing at a Gold Glove level right now. All the metrics point to that. And when he got to spring training, in his own words, he was a mess at second base. He's at first base now. He might not be there long with Yelich at the plate. Marimon to the plate, and Yelich takes a strike. Yelich, a line drive single in the first. A hard ground ball out. Been in and out of the lineup after coming off the disabled list with that sore knee. Remember, he hurt it here at Turner Field, climbing the wall on a Johnny Gomes home run.
And Joe, I know you love the swing and the play of Christian Yelich.
I do indeed, Tommy, and we miss seeing him get to play. I mean, he does a lot of damage to the Braves, but the way he plays, he's going to be a valuable part of your organization for a long time. We just want him to stay healthy. You know, do you foresee him being a guy that's a 20 to 25 home run guy, or is he going to be more where he was last year in the 13 to 15 range?
I see 15 to 20. I mean, that's splitting hairs. I see a 300 hitter. He won a Gold Glove last year, of course, in left field. I see that type of player.
And possibly a batting title in his future, too, I think.
And you never know if they change the configuration of the fences at Marlins Park, which they're talking about. You know, we might say 20 to 25.
Where, Tommy, are they talking about changing? What part of the ball? All the way around, or just in certain areas?
Mostly in center field, but also changing the height of the fences also.
Yeah, from left center into right center. D. Gordon at first. He swiped a bag in the second, and he's running. Good jump. Pierzynski had no chance. And Gordon, 2 stolen bases tonight, 47 on the season.
The other thing we want to see is D. Gordon win that stolen base title, win the batting title, which would be the first since Jackie Robinson did that.
Is that right? That'd be something.
As well, if he wins a Gold Glove, I believe only one other player in baseball history has done that, and that's Ichiro. That's a batting title, a stolen base crown, and a Gold Glove.
Rich, don't give these guys too much information. We're helping their careers way too much.
Hey, pal, we'll take all the help we can get over here. It's been that kind of year, you know what I mean?
Listen to my partner. A 3-0 lead, and he's popping off.
I don't know if you can tell over there, Tommy, but Chip and I are both sitting on, what do you call them? Physio balls?
Yeah.
We're over here not only doing the game, but we're working on our core. What are you doing?
Yeah, we saw you guys working on your core last night.
Mm-hmm. Just wait.
See? Yep. Physio ball.
Here, look. Check it out.
You know, the first announcer that I saw do that was John Rooney in St. Louis.
Mike Shannon does it all spring.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody looks better in a black members-only jacket on a physio ball than Mike Shannon.
That's a good call.
On a 90-degree day.
Yes.
That's a good call. Here's a 3-2 to Yelich, and he lifts it down the third base line and foul.
The reason I say Yelich, I think, has a chance to have a batting title in his future. He's a lot like Freddie Freeman when he first came up, and that is he uses the whole field, hits those line drives you were talking about, Rich, to all parts of the ballpark. Freddie's more pull now than he used to be when he first came up, but I can see Christian being at the top of the league in that division, in that category.
And he runs better than Freddie Freeman.
Right. A lot of infield hits for him, possibly.
Yeah, both guys from the same neck of the woods in Southern California. And so Yelich down to first. Gordon is at second. And we should just shut the heck up and let you guys talk about this hitter maybe for the next half an hour. Because Martin Prado has become one of our favorites, and he's been a Marlin for, what, 5 months?
Yeah, we miss him badly. Miss his presence in the clubhouse, guys. Miss his play on the field. He was a great second hole hitter for us for a long time. Chipper Jones called him one of his favorite teammates when they played together here with the Braves. And it really was heartbreaking for Atlanta when they got Justin Upton. Martin Prado had to be part of that deal from Arizona's perspective, and that was a real tough pill for a lot of folks in this part of the world to swallow.
Prado with a base hit tonight. Marimon the 1-0.
One of the things about Martin that I appreciate, guys, is when he first came up, I don't want to say you could knock the bat out of his hands, but pretty close. And he really made himself into a tough out. He worked hard, so hard to the extent that they had to make him get out of the cage at times and limit how much batting practice he took.
We were talking, we have, tonight is our social media night, so we've been taking emails and tweets, so we have a few for you as we roll along. But we had a question about Derek Dietrich and where will he play, and this is the guy that I think Dietrich should look at and say he played all over the place. Anything to get into the lineup. Remember, he made the All-Star team kind of as a super utility guy.
Right.
1-2 coming to Prado, and Marimon gets him. Marlins done here in the fourth. They leave a couple to the bottom of the fourth. All four of us are back. It's 3-0 Miami.
Simpson, Chip Carey. That, folks, is the always handsome Tommy Hutton. Check him out with the Expos and the Phillies. Check out the stash. Check out the curly cues. Look at you, Tommy Hutton, styling back in the 70s.
Yeah, he was something in those 70s. Those Phillies teams.
You didn't have any bell bottoms, did you?
Oh, you know I did, Joe. You know I did.
This is Nick Swisher leading off for Atlanta. Tommy, what was it like playing for those Expos and Phillies teams and back in the day with the Dodgers?
You know what? The Phillies and the Expos were great teams. We had some really good players. Mike Schmidt, Steve Carlton, Larry Boa, Greg Luzinski, Gary Maddox. And then the Expos were probably the best team that never won anything that I played on. So Hall of Famers, Andre Dawson, Tony Perez, just great guys. The teammates are what really stood out to me on those teams.
And playing for the Phillies was a life-changing experience for you because that's how you met your wife, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Clearwater, spring training.
Well, tell them about your brother-in-law, your teammate.
Well, yeah, a former Brave also.
Right.
Yeah. My brother-in-law, Dick Ruthven, married to my wife's twin sister. So
all in the family.
All in the family. And I guess the amazing thing about that is here we are some 40 years later, and we're both still married.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. 2 quick outs.
Hey, I had a tweet because we're looking at just to get you guys involved. And
yeah,
one of our fans wanted to know, and Joe, you could answer this because you mentioned it last inning. Why do you think Freddie Freeman is more of a pull hitter now?
Personally, I think it's because he thinks there's a dependency on him to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he's leading our team in homers, Tommy, with 15. I never have really thought of Freddie as a 25 to 30 home run guy, but with the way the team was configured this year, I think a lot of that changed in terms of how he was trying to, what he was trying to do for the ball club. He's an outstanding hitter. Injuries have slowed his season down this year a lot, like they have Yelich's. So hopefully a healthy 160 game guy next year.
Oliveira with a hot smash to Prado at third, and Nicolino's been very impressive. He's shutting out Atlanta again through 4 innings tonight. 3-0. We'll continue with Tommy and Rich and Joe after this.
Braves fish winners last night. Braves struggled to score. They didn't score a run last night. Right now the Marlins up 3-0. In Atlanta, home of the Chop, home of the Braves, but this place only home for one more year for the Braves. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton, Chip Carey, Joe Simpson join us now. We did have an email asking you, Joe Simpson, what will you miss most about this ballpark? Because next year is the last year before you move into, what is it, SunTrust Park?
Yes, it is. And it will be a fabulous facility. That's a very good question. When this park first opened, it took a while for me to kind of, I'll say, sidle up to it because it was so new and there were so many different things about it, especially that center field plaza. But I think this is a great venue. I think it's a very fair ballpark, and we have great facilities up here, as you know, and the press box to work from. And I hope that we'll have the same at SunTrust.
Justin Bohr flips one out into shallow center. Daniel Castro makes the catch. By the way, another tweet for you, Tommy.
All right.
Do you miss the mustache?
Not really. Not really.
All right.
It was an era when everyone had mustaches.
Well, let's go back to that era, that era, and take a look.
Well, we have some shots of Joe Simpson.
Yeah, I think we got some Joe Simpson. Oh, look, he's clean.
He looks
cut.
like he's 12 years old there. Look at him. Look at that clean cut look.
How come he's not on the field, though? There's a bouncer to third. Oliveira across the diamond. Those were the days, the Seattle days, right, Joe?
Yeah, if you go back to the second, go to the next one. Okay, see over there to the right? That's a lineup. I was saying to myself, well, missed another one.
Hey, Joe, you and I were in the same boat. The last few years of our baseball cards, they didn't ask us to get a glove or to get a bat. They just said, just stand there and smile.
Right.
Now, did you guys both play? Were you in the Dick Williams window in Seattle, Joe?
I was when I started broadcasting. When I first started broadcasting, he was the manager.
So we both were around Dick Williams then a little bit.
Yeah, tough cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he was like to play for, but I know you better toe the mark.
He was also a pretty good radio analyst. And when I was doing AAA baseball in Las Vegas, Dick would come on.
He made his home there.
Yeah, he made his home. He would come out and do color a couple nights a week. And he was tough. I asked him one time, I said, hey, when you're watching television, do you ever manage when you're watching a ball game and say, yeah, boy, I would have made this move or that move? And he said, well, I can't say what he said, but
you could once.
Yeah, I could. He said no, because as a manager, there's only things that you know that go on in the clubhouse. People don't know, other managers don't know what players are hurt, what players are sick, what players have some issue off the field. You just don't know what's in that clubhouse, and all of that goes into a decision that you make over the course of the game. 1-2 pitch to Cole Gillespie.
I think that happens to us as broadcasters too, though, guys. It took me a while to figure out that there was an obvious move to make, and when it wasn't moved, let's say in the bullpen, why isn't he bringing so-and-so in here to pitch? This is his normal spot. And you finally began to, at least for me, I began to realize something's up. There's a reason why that guy's not available tonight.
And then you try, if you can, you try to throw out as many options as you can to give the viewer that choice.
Right.
Yeah, Tommy always, and it's one of the lessons he taught me when I got here 11 years ago, he first guesses, not second guesses. By laying the options out, he calls it first guessing.
Yeah, we all try to do that.
3-0 Miami in Atlanta.
Broadcasting for the Marlins tonight. We're very hungry on our side. Look at all these wonderful snacks that our crew provided us tonight. You guys look hungry over there.
We saw that last night, and we noticed that most of the edible things in front of you were cookies.
It's all about the core.
And then cookies.
Exactly.
That's why they're sitting on those core balls.
Exactly right. Got it figured out.
And then some pistachios, I think. Joe, you were hitting the pistachios hard. Looks, yeah, very nice.
Yep, still got them right here.
Well, we're not selfish, guys.
Look
just
at
so you
this.
know.
Look what they brought over.
Just a little token of our appreciation for joining us tonight.
Look at this. Some
we don't do hummus.
Stacy's, some hummus, some Triscuits.
Look to your left, Rich. We got a gift for you, buddy.
Oh.
A flare in the center by Chase Peterson.
Now, I don't want to pull a Bob Papa and drop it.
Yeah,
that would be bad.
Yes.
We'll hold that. How's
there it
that?
is. Tommy and Rich, number 4.
Yeah.
We're number 4.
That's great.
But you're on the rise.
That's right.
That's
But you know what? This is TV history right here.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna lead the league in hypoglycemia by the time this broadcast is over. As Jace Peterson gets things started for Atlanta, Daniel Castro in the batter's box. Andrelton Simmons out, sore ankle, a problem that's plagued him from time to time. And a bouncing ball. Prado spears that. Second one. Look at the turn, and Board dug it out. That's 3 double plays in support of Nicolino tonight.
That backs up what you guys were talking about with D. Gordon, too. He turned a real nice double play to end the game last night with his back really to home plate. And this one was pretty.
Yeah, he was drafted as a shortstop, and that's why every once in a while that shortstop arm comes out on those strong throws with a double play.
You know, Joe, you were talking about why the Dodgers and that trade. A couple things there. Gordon is still a rather young baseball athlete. He was a basketball player and a really good one growing up in that Orlando area. It was his dad, of course, a longtime major leaguer, and his uncle that talked him in his junior year of high school to trying baseball. And so the Marlins felt he had more development to go. To me, the curious thing is the Dodgers, remember, they got a good lefty out of the Marlins system, Andrew Heaney, but they flipped him to the Angels, and the Angels have enjoyed Heaney so far this year. He's had a really nice year for him.
Well, we can't get out of this last half inning without asking about Giancarlo Stanton's progress. When is he expected back?
They're hopeful that at the end of this week, Friday, the Marlins start a 3-game series with the Mets. Dan Jennings has said the hope is that on Friday night he's ready against the Mets.
There's a strike to Maramone. 3 balls and a strike from Nicolino.
Yeah, he played today in Jupiter in A-ball. Had 3 at-bats. Played 5 innings. So you give him a couple more games, and hopefully, if everything goes well with the injured and the surgery on the hamate bone, hopefully he'll be available Friday against the Mets.
You know, guys, I really look at your team, and I like your team a lot, especially if you get Stanton back, and if you guys can keep everybody in the lineup for 140 games. If you get Jose Fernandez back, if Cozart can come back from his vertigo problems, you can add a couple of pitchers. Joe said a couple of nights ago he thought the Marlins this year would have been the Mets this year. I really believe, from an outsider's view, that you're not that far away. Do you concur with that opinion?
Yes, if the ifs become fact. I mean, if Henderson Alvarez comes back and is healthy, if Jose Fernandez is able to throw for a full season, if Yelich stays healthy, yeah, I mean, if the ifs become yes, then I think you're right.
This is Nick Markakis for Atlanta, and he pops one out of play.
On our side of the coin, guys, from the Braves' perspective, the accumulation of tons of pitching, tons of young pitching, including Manny Banuelos, who started tonight. Oliveira at third base, the first real sign of the bats that will hopefully come by next year. So you win with pitching, and the Braves are counting on that. And in the offseason and beginning of next year, I think you'll see more bats added to this ball club to make them a definite contender too.
Joe, I may put you on the spot here. Do you see the Marlins maybe a little closer than the Braves?
I do, because of the lineup. I like your bats, and it's all about what you just said about the health of your pitchers. If you get those pitchers healthy, and you got to keep Stanton in the lineup somehow. You got to keep him on the field because he's such a force.
That's down the left field line by Markakis, but that'll bounce out of play. Foul. It's 1-2.
But I really thought at the beginning of this season, when you guys got Prado, I thought that was kind of the glue you needed to kind of show some of the other guys the way. And I still feel that way, but you haven't had your team together for any stretch of the season, and that's what I think has really cost you.
I will say this, for Braves fans out there, Tommy, you and I have seen this with the Marlins, a reboot, and I know it's painful at times, and certainly right now the Braves are struggling. But you know what? John Hart knows what he's doing, and I think the future is bright. I think the farm system is well stocked for you guys.
Hope you're right, Rich. You guys are the best. Appreciate you being with us.
No, we're 4. We're number 4.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
that's
you're
right.
the best.
Good luck the rest of the way.
All right,
Thanks,
care, guys.
All right, 3-0.
Your local Chevy dealers. Visit your South Florida Chevy dealers today. And by Checkers, Epic Meals. Epic Deals. In Atlanta. 3-0 Miami on top. The Marlins so far have shut the Braves out in this series. Top of the 6th. Rolls around. Sugar Ray still out there. Barimon delivers outside. He's pitched well. He's got JT Realmuto, Adeiny Echeverria, and then Justin Nicolino. 7 hits for the Marlins, 4 for the Braves. Our thanks to our friends at Fox Sports South, Chip and Joe. That was fun. In the air. Markakis makes the catch. This just in, Tommy Hutton. Giancarlo Stanton today, a hammerhead. Working the hand, getting ready. Our Rand Eye Vision Cam. Game action for the first time since breaking that hand. Also walked. And was called out on strikes. That was the first game of a doubleheader. He's not playing in game 2. Adeiny Echeverria takes a fastball for a strike. Up the middle, diving stop, Peterson. And he just got him. That's a heck of a play by Chase Peterson.
The defense has been on display tonight, both sides. The Marlins certainly been helped by 3 double plays. The Braves get helped here by a terrific play from Chase Peterson. We talked a little bit about Peterson the other day in Washington. It was Peterson and Trey Turner, a couple of young players in the Padres organization that have moved on.
Justin Nicolino has his first big league hit. He snapped I guess it would be a career-long 0 for 12. with a sharp single to left. Struck out in the 4th. We will ease back into emails and tweets. Benjamin has this email. Hi, Rich and Tommy. Since the Marlins are reportedly interested in starting pitchers, any particular names on the free agent market or in the trade market that stand out? It's a little early. But, Tommy, you, in our last Tuesday, Twitter Tuesday, talked about the need for another horse, a number 2 starter.
A solid number 2 pitcher. I mean, the Marlins have, I think you look at what they have in it. Tom Kohler, the young left-handers. You're not sure how Jared Cozart and Henderson Alvarez come back, but you don't have that really number 2 unless you had a healthy Henderson Alvarez. You know you do there.
Yeah, the ifs that Joe Simpson and Chip Carey went through. Nicolino lines it. Hits it pretty well. Left center. Maben runs it down. Sugar Ray Marimon has been sharp in relief. Still Miami. A 3-0 lead. Jim Harbaugh is back at Michigan, and he takes the Wolverines to Salt Lake City to take on Utah. And it's only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Thursday night, 7 Eastern, kickoff from Utah. Utes and Wolverines. We saw the Giancarlo Stanton video, also from Jupiter. News and notes from Jared Cozart, Jose Urena, and, of course, Stanton's day today.
Yeah, a couple of good innings from Jose Urena. You'd still like to see Jared Cozart stretch things out a little bit. I believe he threw 77 pitches.
Last night, Miami a 4-0 win. Dan Jennings and the Fish up 3-0 here. Cameron Maben leads it off. Freddie Freeman, Nick Swisher to follow. Justin Nicolino has pitched well his last 3 starts. An ERA of about 2.5. In his last start, he was matched up against Garrett Cole and pitched well. 2 runs in 6 innings, but lost 2-1.
I tell you the other thing, well, there are a number of things you like about Justin Nicolino, but his last 3 starts, and he certainly has a chance to continue that tonight. His last 3 starts, he's gone 6 or more innings and given up 2 earned runs or less. Pitch count is very good. The double plays have helped that.
Maben checks his swing. The count is 1-2. Emails and tweets tonight on this Twitter Tuesday.
I get a tweet from Dan. Wants to know when the Marlins play the White Sox next year. Not sure if we do. Do the Marlins play the White Sox?
I believe so.
We'll have to check the schedule. Please do 2 innings with Hawk Harrelson.
That would get interesting. Let's check in with Jessica Blaylock. Hi, Jess.
Positive feedback tonight on this open mic night. We got a lot of really nice tweets on Twitter. Chris said that she absolutely loved it. Tony said, kudos to you guys. Great broadcast. And Roy said, loved hearing you with the Atlanta guys. You are #1 in our books. And guys, I have to admit, my favorite part of open mic night was the cake. That was fantastic.
We are #4, not #1.
Well, and in knowing and finding out a little bit about Jessica's eating habits, you can have the cake.
You know what? I will take that back with me, and I will eat the entire thing at midnight. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Very nice. Freddie Freeman pops out. Nick Swisher's coming up. Al and Maureen in Boynton Beach. A few nights ago, Rich, you slipped in, hit the sign, win a suit. We know the provenance of the phrase, but probably most fans don't. Well, the origin of that, to me, was Ebbets Field, right? Wasn't it there a sign that...
I believe it was, yeah.
A promotion? And I wouldn't be surprised if it was in other ballparks back in the day.
Back in that era, more so in Major League parks. Then it became signs being hit, win a suit, win this, in minor league ballparks. There were a lot of that.
Gillespie is there, and he makes the catch. Justin Nicolino, quick inning. 8-pitch inning, 70 pitches through 6, and a 3-0 lead. Is the only way you can guarantee access to the 2017 All-Star Game at Marlins Park. Place your 2016 Marlins season ticket deposit and join the Fish family today. Full season ticket plans start at just $499. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/tickets. Sugar Ray Marimon, a breaking ball that misses out to D. Gordon in the 7th. Gordon, Yelich, Prado. Gordon a bunt hit his last time up. And he smokes that one into center field, the base hit.
So, he's back on track.
Yeah, Gordon, who opened the night in the batting race just percentage points ahead of Bryce Harper, is 2 for 4.
47 multi-hit games now. There is the list. Terrific year by A.J. Pollock, by the way, of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The Nationals and Bryce Harper tonight are in St. Louis in a scoreless game in the 3rd inning, and Harper walked his first time up, so he's still at 329, and Gordon has lifted his average a whopping 1 point to 330. Yelich, left center field. That's well hit, and it's in the gap. It'll roll to the track. Gordon's going to score easily. Racing around third, on his way home. He will score. Yelich, an RBI double, and Christian Yelich is 2 for 3 tonight.
Boy, he has that left center field stroke. Pitch up a little bit. Yelich stays back on it. No way Maben was going to get it. Swisher wasn't going to get there. And it was fun watching D. Gordon go to the races.
For nothing. Ken with a tweet that says Yelich's swing reminds him of Ted Williams. What do you think? That's a lot of pressure. I mean, that's the guy, right?
Yeah, it is a little different. Ted Williams was a pull hitter, pulled the ball a lot more.
But in terms of being smooth,
I like Yelich's build compared to a young Ted Williams. Tall, lean. It's a baseball build that tells you this guy doesn't spend all day in the weight room like some guys spend too much time, I think, my opinion. And that's the kind of build Christian Yelich has.
Well, Yelich sure has been hot these last 3 ball games. A couple of pinch hits. Steps into the starting lineup. And he's banged a couple of hits tonight. Prado takes a ball, and it's 2-1. Best father-son duo in Major League history. Barry Bobby Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. Sr., D. Gordon, Tom Gordon. That's from Nick in Miami.
That's an interesting one because the others, the Griffey's hitters, obviously Junior much more power than Senior, but Senior a terrific player. The Bonds, Bobby Bonds, people that did not see Bobby Bonds play, he was one of those leadoff guys that could get you that leadoff home run. But in the Gordon's case, you had one a pitcher, and now D, the speedy infielder.
Prado walks. That brings up Justin Bour with nobody out, runners first and second, and Freddie Gonzalez on his way out to the mound. Fish Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans. Your bonus code is ATL. Go to marlins.com/fishfamily. In Atlanta, Sugar Ray Marimon exits. West Kendall Toyota call to the pen. 7th. Marcell Ozuna, you know him, you love him, and you can get his bobblehead. First 10,000 fans get a Marcell Ozuna bobblehead, courtesy of Pepsi. And that is on Sunday. Mets, Marlins, and a Marcell Ozuna bobblehead. It's just not right with wearing that shirt, isn't it?
Well, it's peer pressure.
Good point. All right, we knew this would be a bullpen game for the Braves. I think they have to be pleased, Atlanta does, with what they got from Sugar Ray Marimon. And now Ryan Kelly, in his 5th stint with the Braves, out there tonight. He pitched last night briefly, got the last out of the 9th. Miami won that ball game last night 4-0, up 4-0 here.
Yeah, Marimon actually gave Freddie Gonzalez a little more than his starter, Manny Banuelos.
That one fouled back. We got a response from Alan Maureen. Ebbets Field was right. Home of Carl Furillo in right field. And the sign was by Abe Stark, clothier, who went on to become the borough president of Brooklyn. Did you ever in the minor leagues, as you noted, coming up in the minors, they had some odd promotions. Did you ever win anything by?
Yeah, they had a promotion in Spokane. If you got 5 hits, you won a little portable TV.
You won the batting title in the Coast League.
Sure, I had a 5-hit game.
Now, did it have to be a home game?
Yeah,
at Indian Stadium.
Had to be at Indians ballpark.
That's when a young kid asked for your autograph. You stopped and signed it, and he just turned out to be a Hall of Famer. And he reminds you of that whenever we used to see him. Ryan Sandberg, the former manager of the Phils, and of course the great Chicago Cub.
So you never know who's going to ask you.
We've had a few people throw out some father-son combinations. The Boones, that is from Renee, and the Boones
go through three generations, and then you have the Alous as well.
Shift is on for Bohr on the infield. And the big guy pops it up, fouling out a play. The biggest contribution for Bohr tonight was that tremendous lunging catch that he made to finish off the Braves and end a Braves rally. That was in the 3rd on the ball that Cameron Maben hit. The bags were loaded, and there was nobody out. And Bohr lunged to his left, snow-coned it, got to his feet, got to the bag, and got the double play. And Justin Nicolino got out of that inning without giving up a run.
Hey, see the big guy cover a lot of ground and then pop up and get the double play. Markakis, the runner, was thinking that ball was going to be into the right field corner and he was going to score.
One-two. Bohr to right. It's crushed. It's deep. It's gone. A 3-run shot. Justin Bohr has blasted his 3rd homer of this road trip, and they all have been absolutely flattened.
What a game for Justin Bohr tonight. Defense, power. For Justin Bohr, 8 RBIs now in his last 4 games.
He's a big man who has a short, compact swing. And when he hits it, it stays hit. Not only a healthy disdain for the ball, but watch what he does with a bat. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, just drop it down. 15 home runs now for Bohr. Kelly knew it.
7-0.
So, you know, right now, Rich, back in our Fort Lauderdale studios, Craig is saying, now if Justin Bohr, if you double that with 450 at bat, 500 at bats,
Stop it. Ozuna robbed of a hit. Nice play by Hector Olivera. Well, look, we've talked about what's at stake here for the guys in uniform. And we started this talk probably a month and a half ago, and it continues on through this month of September into early October. What's at stake? The opportunity to put yourself front and center in a major league lineup in 2016. And Justin Bohr right now is showing that he's got power, raw power, and he's a disciplined hitter. And you know what? There's a premium on that in Major League Baseball right now. The more he works with Perry Hill, the better he gets at first base.
Perry's been impressed with the work that Justin's put in over at first base and has seen the improvement, as we have too.
Pitch in the dirt. Email from Scruffy and Holmes. Tommy and Rich, you were always so in fashion in your Tommy Bahama shirts. Now you're always in suits and ties. When will we see you at your fashionable best? The fantasy auction is we get to break out the Tommy Bahama shirts. Tomorrow we'll be sporting Fox Sports polos for a noon start, day game.
Noon, day game. Nice Fox Sports golf shirts.
There it is. 11:30, brunch with a fish. Marlins live. Gillespie swings and misses. Couple RBIs for Gillespie on a 1-for-3 night. Down goes Gillespie. Ryan Kelly with a strikeout. And here comes Real Muto. So we've had an Abe Stark mention. We've had a Bob Boone mention. Marianne and Charles writing from a Marlins Braves fan household. Thanks for doing the combined announcing. Stacy of South Palm Beach felt that we outstyled Chip and Joe. You think that's true?
Absolutely.
Kyle in Coconut Creek. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the Gabby Sanchez Niger Morgan brawl. You guys should show the clip. Sure, Kyle. We have trotted that out in a 10-run reel situation. I don't know that we have that loaded, though.
We have a lot of things going on tonight, so I would guess maybe not.
2-1 pitch. Real Muto bangs one into center field. Maben cuts it off. Real Muto has to hold. That's a great play by Maben in center. So a hit for Real Muto.
For JT, his first tonight, but a good swing, and a lot of center fielders aren't able to get that and hold a good runner, which Real Muto is, to a single. But Maben got over there and then turned it, got it back to the infield quickly. Because with 2 out, you know that JT was thinking about getting to second base. Boy, Rich, a big night for Darren Ruff. Home run, 3 hits, 6 RBIs. The Phillies with a 14-4 lead over the Mets in the 6th inning.
Echeverria was after a fastball and lifts it foul and out of play. Edge tonight 0 for 3. 11 hits now for Miami. Right center, Markakis makes the catch. The Marlins add on 4 runs, 3 coming on this. Another monster blast by Justin Bour. Tomorrow's starters. Hey, tomorrow's a noon game, 11:30 for Marlins Live. Adam Conley will pitch against the mysterious to be announced. We're not sure when that will be announced. And you, as we pointed out all night, you feel for the Braves, their starting pitching and their bullpen just decimated. Some injuries, but obviously overuse from that Yankees series and last night. Not overused tonight, Justin Nicolino. Look at that. 70 pitches into the 7th.
Rich, let me put it this way. You may feel for the Braves. I don't. Everybody goes through problems. Look at the Marlins pitching situation this year. I know you were being kind.
Right. I mean, they sent a cake over, Tommy.
I know.
By the way, the cake.
Did you get that?
I did.
Yeah, I like that now.
Yeah, I did not eat the cake. Not yet. Here's the 1-1. That one rifled off the bat of Pierzynski into the corner. Picked up there by Gillespie, and Pierzynski will stop with a single. Now remember, Chip and Joe sent us a cake that said
it was,
to Tommy and Rich, you're number 4, and I think they were talking about 4th place in the East, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they meant.
So I did a little housekeeping, and now it's number 1, baby.
I like that right there.
Maybe we should send one over that says 7-0, suckers.
Let's take a selfie and send it over to them.
All right, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Here, show this to them over there. They're eating cookies. Now we're number 1. Suckers, we're number 1 now. Well, at least tonight. Hector Oliveira. Now, we haven't had a chance really to talk a whole lot about him with all the comings and goings tonight. He's 0 for 2 in his major league debut.
I think it's going to be hard for the Braves to assess what they have because of his injuries. He hasn't played very much. Had some hamstring issues. So just playing in AAA. So they haven't really got that opportunity. So this is a great opportunity for them to see him in the month of September.
Now there's always some mystery whenever a player comes from either Cuba or Japan. Less so nowadays for the Cuban players because you see them so much on the international stage in the World Baseball Classic and in other big international tournaments. 1-2. And a swing and a miss. But Oliveira, an elite player in Cuba, but he had an injury that knocked him out for a whole season. A thrombosed vein in his left bicep that he had to not only sit out a year, but go on blood thinners, which really set him back. He is older. I mean, he's 30. And so I think that's the mystery, is what are you going to get out of a 30-year-old player?
Absolutely. And that's the chance. That was a great changeup, by the way, from Nicolino to strike him out.
Now, we usually don't do this, Tommy, but we did get an email from Karen, who is watching from Warren, Ohio. She says, keep up the good work. By the way, my grandson is Justin Nicolino.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you can be real proud tonight. He has been just outstanding. Had a tweet from Tony earlier. Wanted to know if we thought Nicolino reminded us of a young Cliff Lee. There's some similarities. Cliff Lee threw a little harder.
But, you know, there's plenty of lefties that have made a nice living in the big leagues that didn't throw 97 or 98. And the nice thing about Nicolino is he makes no pretense about who he is and what he is and how he gets outs. He knows he doesn't throw 96, 97. He knows that his control has to be impeccable, that his cutter has to get in on righties.
Joe Simpson, who we had a nice time with tonight over on the Braves side, told us something last night that John Smoltz told them. John Smoltz, Tom Glavine will come on the air often. John Smoltz told them that Greg Maddux told him one time, I can throw harder, but it wouldn't be better.
Soft line drive, Prado's got it.
So harder isn't always better. And I think the numbers of Greg Maddux speak for themselves.
Maddux had such incredible movement. He could add and subtract,
and that's what happens sometimes with young pitchers who do throw hard. Sometimes when they let up a little, they get more movement. And the harder they throw, the straighter it goes.
Daniel Castro takes a strike. We've had great emails and tweets tonight. We certainly had fun with Chip Carey and Joe Simpson.
But I think you're getting a chance tonight to see just a tremendous performance by Justin Nicolino, 23 years old. Marlins minor league pitcher of the year last year.
Well, El Tipo has this tweet. What other announcing duo in Major League Baseball would you like to do an open mic with next season? Padres would be fun. That one down the left field line, and it's in there for a hit into the corner. Remember, Pierzynski is the lead runner, and he's just arriving at third base.
When we throw out the names that we're thinking of, we have to keep it amongst the Fox family. So you're thinking of Fox Sports regionals, affiliates. I think a couple of good guys, we always get along with them. Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, Milwaukee. Terrific guys.
Yeah, and great broadcasters as well.
Yeah.
Braves are going to pull the trigger on a pinch hitter here with runners second and third. 2 outs. Nicolino trying to keep this shutout intact. Ryan Lavarnway, backup catcher, big guy, 6'4", 240. Always like San Diego because you've got Mark Grant, who is one of the funnier and more lively analysts
just terrific
in the business.
And then you have the Hall of Famer, Dick Enberg.
We'd really have to dress up for that. I mean, I'd have to bring the ascot out
Yes.
and the Navy, the whole.
We might have to gouge into the Fox budget for that one.
Lavarnway hits a mammoth fly ball to center. Ozuna has it under control. And he makes the catch. And Nicolino 7 shutout innings tonight in Atlanta. Get their swings here in the 8th. And a night where the Braves are shorthanded. Danny Barawa is in. And for Barawa, he's one of the call-ups. Made his major league debut with the Yankees earlier this season in June. T-Mobile gives you the Data Strong fan of the game. Gina, look at that. That's a nice family shot. Very nice. Way to go, Gina.
Let me sneak this in quickly because we made a little comparison. Adrian says, I think Nicolino reminds me more of a Tom Glavine. And I think I might agree with that, more so than a Cliff Lee.
Yeah, the Glavine comp is a good one because he's a guy that doesn't light up the radar gun, had perfect control.
Good changeup.
There they are, the big three. All in Cooperstown now. Casey McGee takes a fastball in. D. Gordon, then Christian Yelich. Gordon a couple hits, Yelich a couple hits, Marcell Ozuna a couple hits. McGee swinging at that fastball that ran in.
You know, the 7 innings for Justin Nicolino pushes his total, if you combine minor league innings and major league innings, to 159, so just shy of 160. So you certainly want him to finish this month and have starts every 5 or 6 days. Would you like to see him go a couple more innings? Sure. But you also want to see him finish out the season strong.
Breaking ball, you can hear strike 3 from Ben May, the home plate umpire. Nicolino's night.
So he has now made it 4 consecutive starts of 6 or more innings, 2 earned runs or less. Didn't give up a run tonight.
Gordon sprays a roller to short. Castro just gets him. Well, remember the email comparing Christian Yelich's swing to that of Ted Williams. John Solser, our award-winning producer, was able to get this together. Little split screen of the splendid Splinter.
See, the Splinter started with his hands lower. Christian has him up high. Yelich has a little leg kick and lift. Williams doesn't. So there are some as he follows through, but I still go along with the body type similarity more so than the swing.
All right, but Boca Bob has an email that says, forget about him swinging like Ted Williams. Has anyone noticed that physically he looks like a young Joe DiMaggio in the face?
Yeah, that's right. 23 years old, Christian Yelich.
The guy he really looks like is Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live. Google it. That almost got away, but Barawa works a scoreless 8th. Yeah, the Saturday Night Live guy, Pete Davidson. Or Joe DiMaggio.
For the Marlins. Well, a great follow on Twitter for baseball stories and highlights all around the league is Cut 4. And earlier today, they sent out a tweet with the top 10 moments from the month of August, reminding us why we love this game so much. Marcell Ozuna's home run that hit the top of the foul pole during the series against the Phillies, that came in at number 8. To see the other plays, give Cut 4 a follow on Twitter. And hey, while you're there, give us a follow too at the handle at Fox Marlins. Guys.
Thank you, Jessica. as the Marlins try to finish off the Braves for the second straight night. Bullpen comes in, and for the pen, a little different situation than last night. Remember last night, Chris Narveson, 5 1/3 shutout, but he left with a blister. Tonight, Justin Nicolino was superb, and here's Eric Cordier.
It kind of goes along with what we were talking about, how you just have to be careful. He's a young pitcher. You're not sure about Chris Narveson. I think he's going to be all right from what we've heard.
Nick Markakis leads it off for the Braves. And Cordier goes to work.
Yeah, certainly the Braves will get a different look from Cordier with his 95-plus fastball than they saw from Justin Nicolino.
Nicolino's ERA is down to 3.07, and as you pointed out, those last 4 starts with tonight included, that ERA is in the low 2s. Now, Marlins Live, we were talking about the bullpen, and you may not know all the names yet, but the guys that have come in and the guys that remains really had a nice week.
Well, certainly you know Brian Morris, Mike Dunn, A.J. Ramos. They have really stepped it up and thrown the ball well. Then you have Ellington, Cordier, and Bearclaw, who have all done a good job. We haven't had a chance to see Andre Rienzo too much since he's been back, but the other guys starting to fill in and feeling comfortable in their roles.
Here's Cameron Maben. In baseball tonight, Tommy touched upon the Mets getting trounced by the Phillies 14-5. That will open up the door for the Nationals, but last night the Nationals had that door open a bit, and then it was slammed in their face. The Cardinals came from behind. That beleaguered Washington bullpen couldn't hold up last night. Maben lifts it. Gordon calls for it. And there are 2 outs. Washington 4-1, bottom 3 in St. Louis.
So it's early in St. Louis.
Yes, it is. But the Cardinals have made a habit of winning games like that in the East. I mean, the Nationals are 6.5 back, and we said it when we were there this weekend. At what point do they run out of time to get it together?
You start thinking about it Labor Day. That's coming up. I love Chrissy's tweet, because we've been talking about Christian Yelich. Chrissy says Yelich is a cutie pie. He's quiet, confidence. It's very encouraging. I use Yelich to show my son how he can strive to be on the field. So there you go, Chrissy.
Pitch misses away to Freddie Freeman. $16,386 the attendance tonight. Freeman dropped the barrel and drives it into center field.
That's
2-out single.
More of the Freddie Freeman that Joe Simpson was talking about, who didn't think about pulling the ball so much. But I think he's fallen into that a little bit because of the surrounding options around him.
Email from Ian in New Jersey. Have heard reports that the Marlins might go back to Puerto Rico and play next year.
Regular season or spring training?
Regular season. You've also seen teams going to different countries to play games. Australia, Japan, and Puerto Rico. Where else in the world do you see baseball expanding to play regular season games?
Rich, you know they will welcome us at Hiram Bithorn Stadium.
Oh, that's they especially the guys in the press box love you. that's a long.
And somewhere down the road someday, Cuba will host a major league game.
I believe Europe, and in Europe, they're just getting into baseball. The Netherlands has probably been the best country over there that has embraced it. They have so many of the good players in the Dutch Antilles Islands, including Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, the hardest thing there is getting a major league facility.
They're close. The closest one, I believe, is in the Netherlands. The 2-0 pitch. But remember what Major League Baseball did to the cricket grounds.
They got it Major League ready.
They got it Major League ready. So you certainly could see them finding a place in Europe and doing the same build-up for that. Good question from Ian in New Jersey. 3-0 pitch from Cordier is a strike. Our studios are fired up tonight. Marlins Live. Preston Wilson joins Craig Minervini. An update on Giancarlo Stanton's rehab. Clubhouse reaction from this ball game as well. Swisher pulls one foul. It's 3-2.
So what do you think? London or Cuba? What would be your choice?
Right now, I'd choose London. But I'd love to go to Cuba just because of the history. And I think that's in the
probably
next...
better food.
Yes. Good call. Better mojitos. That's for
you
sure.
know, we'd get some nice Cuban coffee, too.
Swisher. All right, I think you've convinced me. Let's go to Cuba first. Although having traveled to Amsterdam before, Swisher walks. Pierzynski up. 7-0 Miami. Remember, we had a Dick Williams mention. Both you and Joe Simpson.
That's right.
Had a chance to be around Dick Williams.
Yeah, I played for Dick Williams for a little over 3 years.
Reverend John said that when he was younger, he went to Dick Williams' home on Singer Island after he won the World Series with the Oakland Athletics. Pierzynski takes. Reverend John was then a young priest. Asked him to come to Tampa, speak to a youth gathering of 600 teenagers, and he picked him up. Dick Williams came and refused to take any money for his travels. Spoke to the kids and was a wonderful guy. A pleasure to meet him. Liner to left. That's a base hit. Yelich will pick it up. Round third comes Freeman, and the Braves are on the board.
Del Pierzynski with his second straight base hit. And all of this coming with 2 out. Cordier got the first 2 hitters to pop up. A Freeman single, a walk to Swisher, and the base hit by Pierzynski. Singer Island, by the way, in the West Palm Beach area.
Here now is Oliveira. If Oliveira is anything like some of the other Cuban hitters that have come into Major League Baseball, then the Braves will have an impact back. When you think about Jose Abreu, Yoenis Cespedes, Yasmani Tomas of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Drives it right center field. Ozuna has it and makes the catch. Braves get one, and that's it. 7-1 Fish to the bottom of the ninth. Tonight, Geico presents this MLB moment. Mark McGwire, home runs number 56 and 57 to break Hack Wilson's single-season National League record. That was back in 1998. Not hammering Hank, but a reasonable facsimile.
By the way, just one last tag to some conversation we've had about Dick Williams. Dick's son, Rick Williams, a terrific Major League scout over the last 15, 20 years.
Top of the ninth. Did I say bottom of the ninth? I think I was like Lindsey Nelson.
You're trying to skip ahead.
Yeah, the Braves were unable to sustain a drive, so we moved to further action in the ninth.
You were trying to do what they do with lunchtime with the Marlins on the replay of the games. Trying to skip ahead to further action.
Martin Prado takes in. See the Marlins box score. The Justin Bour homer was absolutely blasted deep in the Braves bullpen. If you haven't seen it, it's coming up shortly, and so is Bour. Prado swings and misses. I think we got an email from Jim.
Jim's always active on our email Twitter Tuesday with some good questions.
Jim wants us to come up with a name for Bour's homers. A nickname for Bour, a nickname for his home run. Swing and a miss. Prado strikes out.
Well, the logic and the logical and easy one is a Bour blast.
Well, here it is. You want to try it out?
Yeah, let's take another look at a Bour blast.
I'm not sold.
We have time. We can come up with more.
It is our Warren Henry drive of the game. Now they got their money's worth, certainly.
Three hits last night. A blast tonight. 8 RBIs over his last 4 games. Look at that. 4-game hitting streak. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs during that time.
One and two. See, that's a great idea. Is email your buddy John Sterling and see what he would say for a Justin Bour.
He would think of something.
Yeah. Bour strikes out.
Or that ball is airborne.
There, well, see, that's where he would go.
That's from El Tipo.
Oh, El Tipo's been good tonight.
Yeah, El Tipo came up with that. I cannot take credit for that. He's got such a great attitude for this game. There was a time a couple of months ago that he was really struggling. And you know what? You couldn't tell it too much. He has pretty much the same attitude now in a 4-game hitting streak.
You know, I think if you talk to Frank Menachino, Marlins hitting coach, he will tell you that those struggles will be a positive in the long run, because and you and I see it a lot for a lot of teams, not just the Marlins. Young hitters that come up and have success for a month or two immediately have struggles, and how they recover from those struggles determine many times their future in the big leagues. And for Bour, boy, has he recovered. 7-1 Miami. Florida is brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers and by Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. Atlanta all lit up tonight. Miami a 7-1 lead and a chance to make it 2 in a row. Some changes. Miguel Rojas takes over at short. Andre Rienzo takes over on the mound. Jace Peterson. Then Daniel Castro. And then the pitcher spot. Strike to Peterson. All right, Tommy, we've opened a giant Pandora's box of nicknames which have come flowing freely. The Boar Supremacy. Wild Boar. Boar Banger. Porcupine. Now that was funny. Porcupine. Yeah, Justin Bour has hit another one.
You know what? He's the type of personality. He may just like it the way it is.
He's not a real flashy guy, and we've talked about his appearance on Intentional Talk last week where he wore the shirt, "I'd like abs, but I'd like a donut more." And I mean, the best line of that
Kevin
was
Millar loved that shirt.
Well, when Millar and Rose said, "Hey, can you send us like some double XLs in those shirts for us?" And he deadpanned, "Hey, they're $7 on Amazon."
We did see a side of Justin Bour that we don't see a lot. He was great.
One of the things we saw was the fact that he dresses his dog up. in all kinds of clothes and baseball outfit. And the dog looked quite pleased to be dressed in a New Orleans jersey.
If your owner's Justin Bour, are you going to say anything?
No. You're going to, as they say in baseball, you're going to wear it.
Been a fun night, though, tonight.
Yeah, we haven't decided who do we want to do open mic with next. Now, how about Vin Scully? You're tight with Vin, right? Well, hi, Tom.
I think you get Vin, maybe. I mean, he's going to come back one more year.
That's true. Louis says, how about forget about that one? Gerald crossing the border. Julio, the big burrito.
I like that one.
That's pretty good.
Another burrito blast.
Sponsorship possibility. 0-2. Prado loads up across the diamond in time to get the out.
Maybe a Chipotle sponsorship. Well, nice job by Andre Rienzo. He's come on, gotten a couple of quick outs. Christian Bethancourt is going to pinch hit here.
Marlins trying to finish this off, get to win number 54. The Braves are at 54 wins. But Atlanta will have a half-game lead over the Marlins because the Marlins have 79 losses, and this would be loss number 78. But there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow the Marlins and Braves meet here in Atlanta.
The Marlins will send another young lefty, Adam Conley.
Good pitch, Rojas. It bites him. And Bethancourt is safe. It's going to be an E6 on a guy who's usually a very, very good defender.
And you know the frustrating thing about that, he just came in the game, so this is the first ball hit to him. There's that hop, it comes up to him.
I think, and having been around Perry Hill enough, ball hits dirt, you go get it.
He stayed.
Yeah, and that's one of the cardinal rules in Perry Hill's.
And because of that, he got that in-between hop.
Yes. Yeah, Bora Bora, the Bermuda Triangle, Bourgeois. That's good. To left, Yelich in full flight. He is there, and the Gold Glover makes the catch, and Miami finishes off Atlanta tonight. 7-1 the final. Andre Rienzo. The night on the mound was all about Justin Nicolino. At the plate, Justin Bour. A 3-run homer. Big nights offensively as well for the Fish. D. Gordon, 2 hits. Christian Yelich, 2 hits. 2 from Marcell Ozuna.